Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It is good to see each and every one of you. If you guys can hear me okay and everything looks good on the screen, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me or things are looking kind of bad or sounding kind of bad, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who is in the building early, all right? Shout out to Jerry Bedford. It's good to see you, bro. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Good to see you as always. Hope you enjoyed your birthday. Shout out to Shamika Gray. Shout out to Marvin Cox. Shout out to Cameron. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Carlton Way. Shout out to Reparations Nation. What's good with it? Shout out to DC Precise. Shout out to Mr. J. Shout out to Shatera. We got Mastermind Hour in the building, and we got the specialists. All right, got a good crew. All right, good to see each and every one of you guys. So what we're going to be talking about is some conflicting reports that have come out of Colorado. All right. Law enforcement, city and state officials, and people online are all saying different things. All right. Everybody's saying a different story. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some looks at a couple articles. All right. 2 news articles. We're going to look at a proposal, I guess you would call it, from the Centers for Immigration Studies. And then we're going to take a look at these rumors, quote unquote, because apparently there's some rumors of, quote unquote, the Hells Angels going to Colorado to, quote unquote, handle business. You guys hear about that? If you guys heard about that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't, give me a thumbs down. Now, interestingly, right, quote unquote, handle business. If you ever see one of these individuals with a tattoo on them with the letters TCB, interestingly, that means take care of business. All right. So let's check out this report right here.
The Aurora interim police chief addressing the reports of Venezuelan gang activity within the city of Aurora. She's now saying gang members have not taken over at the Edge at Lowry Apartments, and neighbors there are speaking with.
So, as you guys can see, this is a new report. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this came out a day ago. They're saying that the apartments have not been taken over. Now, we've seen those images, right? We've seen those images that people have been posting online. Those images look a lot different than, quote unquote, the apartments haven't been taken over. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
The Aurora interim police chief addressing the reports of Venezuelan gang activity within the city of Aurora. She's now saying gang members have not taken over at the Edge at Lowry Apartments, and neighbors there are speaking with officers over the past few days. Our own Courtney from Live with Moria. This is a big concern with multiple apartments in the area. The video just shocking, going national now at this point. Good morning, Courtney.
Good morning, Nicole. Yeah, I think that's the biggest worry. I imagine the people who live in that apartment complex, when they saw that video, they automatically kind of assumed that that's what was going on, simply because there's other apartment complexes right here in Aurora dealing with that same issue, according to those building owners and those management companies. Now, take a look at that video. It was first given here to us at daybreak on Wednesday, showing armed men breaking into multiple apartments at the Edge at Lowry apartment complex. Now, shortly before all of this video, there was a shootout that happened in the parking lot. I should say that happened after the video was taken. Now, this led to belief that a gang was potentially taking over the apartment complex. But on Friday, interim Aurora.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. So there's the speculation, right, of this quote unquote gang, quote unquote, taking over the apartment complex, right? Now, in those images that we're watching right there, does that not look like an invasion? Now, mind you, of course, the video doesn't tell the entire story, right? There's got to be context and everything else with it. But if we don't call this an invasion, or we don't quote unquote call this a takeover, my question for you guys is, what if you saw something like this, what would you call this? Let me know what you guys think.
Aurora Police Chief Heather Morris, you heard from her just a few minutes ago, stated that is not the case.
Out here, we want to reassure the people that live in this community that we are actively investigating criminal activity that's happening and listening to them so that we can learn anything that we're missing. What are we missing, and actually find out what exactly is going on.
And we know Aurora City leaders, they've gone on to say that Aurora is a safe place to live. I imagine there's just a lot of concerns right now considering other stories that have been going on. But the city of Aurora will be getting in touch with out-of-state owners of the apartment buildings who the city said were already in violation with codes and criminal.
Now, let me ask you guys this. Would Elijah McClain and his family say that Aurora is a safe place to live? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section.
Activity before this entire incident happened. But definitely a story we'll be following. Of course, we'll keep you updated. More information becomes available. For now, live in Aurora, Courtney from Daybreak on 2.
The Aurora.
Now, check this out, right? I want to show y'all this last image right here. And if it's anybody that's in the area that lives in that area or been around that area, they can let you know. You see all these police out here, you know what I'm saying, with the bulletproof vests outside the police uniform, just walking around. See this right here? This type thing right here. That's how it looks in Newark, New Jersey, except for they walk with these police dogs that's like the size of hyenas. That's how it looks in Newark, New Jersey. Now, I'm not really familiar with Aurora, Colorado, all like that. But I'll tell you, Newark, New Jersey, one thing that is not known for is quote unquote safety. And you have this environment where you got these police officers walking around, you know what I'm saying, looking like they're part of the National Guard. So just, you know, looking at the environment and situational awareness and stuff like that, I don't know if I would necessarily buy that. Like Twister said, can you tell me what you buy that? I don't know if I buy that. You know what I'm saying? So now, next, shout out to AB. Yo, shout out to Jay the Informant. What's good with it, bro? So, yo, next, what we're going to do is we're going to check out this other video, and this is from ABC 7. All right. And again, what's being said here by the quote unquote state officials and the quote unquote city authorities is that there's quote unquote no takeover, no hostile takeover. Again, video's looking a little bit different, right? Now, there's supposed to be a video on this page right here, but for whatever reason, the script won't play. All right, so we're going to just read this article here. It says APD, which is Aurora Police Department, investigated a claim of a Venezuelan gang takeover of an apartment building, but found no evidence that gang members were in control. So here's my question. What that means basically is that those people who are running around with those long guns, those people allegedly are not in control. So my question is, who's in control of those people then? Because in most cases, when somebody has a gun and other people don't have a gun, in most cases, the people with the gun are in control, right? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. So we saw all those videos with all them people running around with all them guns, but according to the authorities, they're saying that those people are not in charge. My question is, okay, well, if they're not in charge, then who is? Aurora has been in the national spotlight due to unconfirmed reports of a Venezuelan gang taking over an apartment building after a video showing a group of armed men inside an apartment complex went viral. Now, you guys have seen all of those live streams and videos that I've done in regards to this. For whatever reason, YouTube is taking forever to approve the monetization. Hopefully they hurry up and do it pretty soon so I can put those videos back public. But in those videos, we've also seen conflicting reports. Shout out to Shatira. They was just playing. Right. They was just playing in the grandma voice. Right. The department shared a video Friday of officers engaging with residents of the Edge at Lowry. All right. So remember, this place is called the Edge at Lowry apartment complex located at 1218 Dallas Street. So not only do they have a huge crime issue there, but remember, they also said that that place was ratchet. It was nasty. You guys remember the big giant piles of garbage that they had outside the place? Just disgusting. You know what I'm saying? It's one of several buildings at the center of concern regarding alleged activity by the Venezuelan gang Tren De Aragua. Okay, Tren De Aragua. Now, again, we got to ask this question, right? This is simultaneously, quote unquote, simultaneously, right? A migrant gang and a prison gang. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. These These things are happening at the same time. At the same time, this is a migrant gang, quote unquote, as well as a prison gang. Is that a fact? If that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen, give me a thumbs up or a flame in the chat. If that's not a fact and that's incorrect, then give me a thumbs down. However, now check this out, right? And again, I'm going to show the date of this article here. As you guys can see, this came out yesterday, or 2 days ago, I'm sorry, August 31st of 2024. And it was just updated an hour and 30 minutes ago. Okay. However, interim Aurora Police Chief Heather Morris said in a police-provided interview that officers found no evidence of a gang takeover. Now, here's my question. What else did they find? Better question, what else were they looking for? What else were they looking for? We've been talking to the residents here and learning from them to find out what exactly is going on. And there's definitely a different picture. I'm not saying that there's not gang members that don't live in this community, but what we're learning out here is that gang members have not taken over this complex, Morris said. So this statement, if you ask me, interestingly, it sounds constructed. If you guys would agree that this statement, quote unquote, sounds constructed, give me a thumbs up. If y'all would disagree and you don't feel that it sounds constructed, then give me a thumbs down. Still, Aurora Mayor, look at this. Still, the Aurora Mayor, Mike Kaufman, said the city is seeking an emergency court order to shut down the apartment buildings that he claims have been overrun by the Venezuelan gang by declaring them a criminal nuisance. All right. So the mayor, whose name is Mike Kaufman, the mayor has said that they are overrun by Venezuelan gangs. So now my question for you all is, what do you think is actually going on? Which one do you think that it is? Shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys haven't smashed that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash the like button. We got 35 people in here. That's wonderful. That's excellent. I'm very grateful. Thank you guys for being here. If you guys could smash the like button and try to get us to 50 likes, that would be amazing. All right. So now here it says, Kaufman said the apartments seeing gang activity are all under the same ownership that had multiple code violations and criminal activity preceding the migrant crisis. Now, let me ask you guys a question. I don't really know what they're trying to do by saying that, because if you ask me, what this would imply to me is that if these apartments were already bad, if you bring a element of people who have criminality into that area, that's going to make it worse. So that kind of substantiates things, if you ask me. Shout out to the specialist. Right. All the tactical gear and tanks are useless against this gang. Now, do you guys remember, if I'm not mistaken, in Texas, there was a black man that the police were chasing after, and they sent a drone with a bomb in after him. Something like that can't be done here. You know what I mean? Is that a valid question? Despite unfounded claims. So what they're saying is that these claims are unfounded. All right. So as of right now, according to law enforcement, according to authorities, these claims are, quote unquote, unfounded. Okay. Denver Metro police agencies, including APD, did confirm that the gang, TDA, is operating in the metro area, and the city of Aurora said they are taking the threat seriously. Now, here's my question. If you're taking the threat seriously, what that basically means is that you've revoked your sanctuary city status then, right? Because your sanctuary city status would interfere with your ability to be able to prosecute and punish these individuals and hold them accountable for crimes that they might commit. Sanctuary city status would definitely interfere with that. Would you guys agree? Shout out to Dwayne. Dwayne says, hit the like button to make it 36 for 36. Facts. So now here it says, yes, we are concerned that there is a quote unquote small Tren De Aragua presence in Aurora, and we have been taking it seriously. We have responded. We have made arrests. We will continue to make arrests. We will continue to address the problems the absentee out-of-state owners of these properties have allowed to fester unchecked. Now, this kind of sounds interesting and weird. And what it kind of sounds to me like is that they're trying to blow off all of these problems onto the owners so that the state and the city don't have to be held accountable for the horrible policies that they've supported that have allowed these things to happen. But this is just speculation. And I want to make that clear that all I'm doing is speculating. Okay. Shout out to PD that remains and shout out to Ryan. What's good with y'all? So now here it says Aurora will aggressively pursue all actions available under city code and criminal statute, the city said in the statement. All right. So now, as you guys can see here, it says Venezuelan gang components in Aurora, but reports are isolated. Now, we can look at this, right? We'll look at this article here. This article came out on the 29th. All right. Regardless, my question is, where did Tren De Aragua come from? How did they get there? Is this imported crime? And is this imported crime that has been imported as a result of poor choices politically? Let me know what you guys think. Aurora will aggressively pursue all actions available under city code and criminal statute, the city says in a statement. Now, here's my question. How do you do that in a sanctuary state? What does that look like in a sanctuary state? How do you, quote unquote, go after somebody, quote unquote, hard, quote unquote, in a sanctuary state? How does that work? A TDA member identified as Joharndi Jose Pacheco Chirino, you guys remember us talking about him, was arrested last month in connection with a double shooting at 1568 Nome Street in Aurora. He is currently in the custody of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many people would feel more confident if he was back where he was supposed to be at? If you feel more comfortable that he was back where he was supposed to be at instead of custody of USCIS, because let's just keep it a buck. Many of these people that cross the border in a fashion that's not legal end up in custody of Customs and Border Patrol. It's not always the best thing. Somehow they sometimes tend to get released into the United States, which is actually what happened to this individual if you go back and look at history enough. Okay. So now here it says another high-profile crime in Denver metro area was connected to 4 Venezuelan nationals who were arrested in El Paso, Texas, in connection with an armed jewelry store heist in December and June. All right. So now here goes my question for you all. Do you all remember that jewelry heist, the armed jewelry heist in June? If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure we talked about it. I'm pretty sure that we talked about it. But if you guys want some information on it, I'm going to put this link in the chat for you, okay? All right, so give me 1 second. It's about to go into the chat right now. All right, so there's that. That's in the chat. All right, and I'm going to put this in the Discord real quick for y'all. All right. So now you got that if y'all want to look at it and check out some further research. Okay. Another high-profile case, and this is what we just put in there, in Denver metro area was connected to Venezuelan nationals who were arrested in El Paso, Texas. Now, again, let's ask this question. How did they get from Denver to El Paso, Texas? What were they trying to do? What were they trying to do going from Denver to El Paso, Texas? Governor Jared Polis posted a statement on social media stating that the state is ready to offer any assistance to APD if requested. Now, mind you, how are they going to offer assistance being a sanctuary state? Again, what is the limits or what is the bounds of assistance that they can offer as a sanctuary state? We're going to just help you with this prosecution. How do you do that as a sanctuary state? Colorado is a zero tolerance state for illegal activity. taking over buildings has no place in Colorado, and I am confident the city of Aurora shares this basic value and will enforce the law if it's being violated there. I urge them to do so quickly and in a thorough manner. Over the last month, I have been in regular contact with the city of Aurora and the Aurora Police Department and have offered any and all state assistance to support their efforts if requested. Now, again, if you ask me, no, he hasn't, because to me, one of the best things that he can do to offer his assistance will be to get rid of the sanctuary city status so that there's nobody interfering with law enforcement working with ICE to deal with these individuals. If you say that you're willing to offer all of your resources and you haven't done everything in your power to get the sanctuary city status revoked, it's hard for me to believe that you're actually willing to do everything in your power to help deal with this problem. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. The city has been ready for weeks to back up any operation by the Aurora Police Department needed to make Aurora safer, Polis said. Now, again, how do you do that? How are you able to do that if you're a sanctuary state? Activists told Denver 7 that the national attentions on the presence of TDA in Colorado could, quote unquote, harm immigrants who are not associated with the gang. Okay. Nate Casa, a community organizer for the East Colfax Community Collective, said the headlines are making life more challenging for the vast majority of immigrants who recently came to Colorado and have nothing to do with TDA. Now, here's my question. How would these headlines make things more difficult for those individuals? And so here's the thing, right? Even if the headlines are making things more difficult for those individuals, do you not think that the environment at the apartment is making it difficult for the people that live there to live there? So whose priority of difficulty is the highest? The migrants or the people that live there? You guys can answer that question for me in the chat. That screams racist. It screams to me that it is capitalizing on a political opportunity to push against the immigrants, Casas said. So that's what this guy here says. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do you all agree with that? They said that it, quote unquote, seems racist. What's interesting about it is that it's not racist to say black on black crime, though. But it's racist to criticize what's going on in an apartment building where multiple videos have surfaced with migrant gang members walking around with long guns in the lobby. That somehow is racist. Somebody make that make sense. Somebody make it make sense. All right, so that's the end of that. All right. So now next what we're about to do is we're about to take a look at this report here that came out on August 30th from the Center for Immigration Studies. All right. I'm going to put this article here in the chat so that y'all can have it if y'all want to reference it. All right. So here's this. I'm going to put it in the Discord too. If y'all not part of the Discord, take a moment, hit that Discord link. Hold on real quick, y'all. All right, there we go. All right, so there's that. It's in there. So now if y'all want to look at that article, y'all got the article to look at. And shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If y'all haven't smashed that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. All right, so now next what we about to take a look at is we about to take a look at this report. This right here from the Center for Immigration Studies. It seems like when a lot of these studies from the Center for Immigration Studies come out, a lot of times they kind of don't get paid attention to. Now, my question for you guys is, why do you think that is? Yeah, exactly. Shout out to DC Precise. DC Precise says a literal prison gang, criminal by definition. Facts. Now, here's my question. If they're quote unquote not sending criminals and prisoners here, how do you get a pop-up prison gang? How do you get a pop-up prison gang? Somebody make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Venezuelan gang stirs fears in Colorado's third largest city. All right. And again, like I said, you guys can see the date on this article here. It's from August 30th of 2024. A lot of uncertainty and deflection concerning the activities of Tren De Aragua in Aurora, but reports underscore the risks posed by unvetted illegal migrants. I would actually agree with that. If you guys would agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all would disagree with that, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says Fox News ran a report this week showing a video of armed men in sweatshirts milling around an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, a Denver suburb and the state's third largest city. Fox News explains the group appears to be, quote unquote, Tren De Aragua, or TDA, a transnational gang based out of Venezuela. So again, we got to deal with the first question. How did a transnational gang from Venezuela find easy access into the United States? Shout out to Tampa Supreme. Shout out to Miss Nisi. Shout out to Manosphere Hall of Fame. Good to see y'all. How did that happen? That's one way to describe a group the Treasury Department designated as a transnational criminal organization in July. It's not clear what's going on in Aurora. However, there are plenty of deflections over TDA's presence here, but such claims underscore the risks of allowing unvetted migrants to pour into the United States. And now, mind you, if you guys have seen any of those videos that I've done, quote unquote, on quote unquote voter rights, right? Not only do they want to allow a lot of these people to come into the United States, they also want to provide these people with access to be able to vote. They want to provide these people with access to be able to vote, which is just wild to me. Completely illogical, bizarre, makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? In its designation, the Treasury Department explains that TDA is expanding throughout the Western Hemisphere and engaging in diverse criminal activities, such as human trafficking and smuggling, gender-based violence, money laundering, and illicit drug trafficking. Such coordinated activities are what differentiates TCOs from scattered gangs of street hoods. But TDA has come a long way from its humble roots. It started over a decade ago in the Torrejon prison in the Venezuelan state of Aragua. So the state prison that they came from is literally called Aragua. Like the state that they come from is literally called Aragua. They come from a prison in Aragua. Okay? I'm going to put this article in the chat for anybody that's interested in it. And I'm going to throw it in the Discord too. All right, so here's this. All right. Shout out to Rick Guillory. What's good with it, bro? So there's that. I'm going to throw it in the Discord real quick for y'all. All right. Okay. There you go. There you go. Y'all should be good. Like Colorado, a mountainous area only in the north of the country and bordering the Caribbean, it's not entirely clear why it's called Tren De Aragua, aka Aragua Train. I don't know, maybe because they are all over the place and they're like importing and exporting themselves from different places, like how a rail line does. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But Insight Crime suggests it may be linked to a union that was once formed in a connection with an incomplete railway system. What? That's interesting. So I'm gonna put this article here from Insight Crime in there. Just in case anybody's interested in checking out this backstory here. All right. All right, so there's that. Okay. The outlet is clear about other issues having to do with the group's ascendancy, though. All right. So let me see what else they got. So then they got this here, some tattoos or whatnot. TDA is likely feasting on the, look at this. Look. TDA is likely feasting on the illegal migration at the southwest border. As the Treasury Department puts it, the group leverages its transnational networks to traffic people, especially migrant women and girls, across borders for sex trafficking and debt bondage. All right. And then as you guys can see, the people have like very little respect for those women. And one of the reasons that you can tell that they have very little respect for those women is because a lot of those women who are migrants end up becoming the victim of migrant sex crime, as well as human trafficking. We've done multiple reports where a lot of these things have been outlined. Soberly, Treasure continues, when victims seek to escape exploitation, Tren De Aragua members often delete them and publicize their death as a threat to others. A separate Fox News piece, also published on August 29, describes El Paso, Texas as on high alert due to reports that TDA members were moving through the neighboring Mexican state of Chiaula to cross into the United States near the largest city on the southwest border. So again, one of their goals, it seems, is that they get to the southwest border and then attempt to enter into the United States. Okay. Chiachulan officials have sought the assistance of a Chilean gang expert on tips on how to combat TDA, according to the Latin Times. Why Chilean? The outlet explains that the number of kidnappings in Chile soared by 35% over the last decade, with the sharpest increase occurring between 2021 and 2022. This coincided with when Tren De Aragua established a foothold inside of the country. Okay. So I'm going to see this real quick. Yeah, they got this article from Latin Times here. Let's see, give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you guys this. We won't go through it, but we'll just skim through it. Okay. We'll just skim through it. This may be a taste of what communities across the United States can expect unless U.S. officials are able to nip TDA in the bud. Now, let me ask you guys a question. In order to quote unquote nip TDA in the bud, what do you all think is necessary from quote unquote U.S. officials? What's necessary for U.S. officials to do to get rid of and curtail the threat, the inconvenience, and the burden of TDA coming into different neighborhoods, wreaking and causing havoc? Give me the step-by-step processes of what would have to be done. Venezuelan gang causes alarm in Metro Denver. So then they asked the question, are such concerns over TDA overblown? Okay, it asked the question, are such concerns over TDA overblown? Axios published a piece on August 29th, headline, Venezuelan gangs causes alarm in Metro Denver, which appears to try to throw cold water over concerns of TDA's activities in Aurora. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Why would they write an article that says that instead of writing an unbiased article where people can see exactly what's going on with this situation and possibly be safer the next day based on better information? Why would they do that? Shout out to DJ Elmo. What's good with you, bro? The outlet responded, or I'm sorry, the outlet reported connection between Fox News' videos of men toting guns through the Aurora apartment complex to an organized TDA presence in the city to two local GOP officials, Aurora Council member Danielle Jurinsky and Mayor Mike Kaufman. So now here it says, I know that they are Republican because Axios highlights their party affiliation in its place before continuing. Well, that's a relief. Sure. TCO, birthed in a prison that engages in sex and drug trafficking and extortion and debt bondage, among other unsavory activities, may be tied to certain unspecific crimes, but unfortunately, the influence is isolated and it's only Republican elected officials that are really concerned. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do you all see the picture, the visualization that is starting to come together here? Shout out to Mike Mellis John. What's good with it, bro? Yeah, and I got to agree with Jay. If you guys agree with Jay, Venezuelans are sitting back and laughing, then give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with that, then give me a thumbs down. Yeah, I would agree 100%. You got to sit back and laugh. This is complete display of incompetence, if you ask me. This is a complete display of incompetence. Yeah, and I would agree. If you guys agree with DC Precise, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with him, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Aristopat. What's good with you, bro? DC Precise says, stop letting tens of thousands of these MFs come into the country weekly. Yeah, facts. Seems like a pretty simple fix, right? And also keep politicians out of office who think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with this, because there's absolutely plenty wrong with this, right? Those are very simple fixes to this very simple problem. There's an aphorism known as MRDA, for Mandy Rice Davies Apply, a reference to an alleged in-court riposte by the eponymous Welsh former model who was a key figure in a notorious Profumo affair that rocked the UK politics in the early 1960s. Faced with a denial by Lord Astor, who is a conservative branch British politician, of her claim that the two had an affair, Rice Davies purposely responded, well, he would, wouldn't he? Her real answer was a bit more nuanced than that. But in any event, MRDA denotes skepticism over a self-serving claim. In the Axios piece, the clear contention by local Colorado police that they have TDA under control and that local residents shouldn't worry. I trust that local authorities responded in a similar manner when other gangs like MS-13 and 18th Street were first getting their starts too. And it's now well established that FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover downplayed the mafia's criminal enterprises and reach for decades as well. Now, why is it that the government moves like that? Why is it that the government moves like that? Because if you ask me, it's extremely important for people to pay attention to what goes on and pick up on things and learn lessons to improve the future based on things that might not have been done as efficiently as they should have been in the past. You know what I'm saying? Read in total, there's a whiff of election year politics in the Axios piece, which brings me back to the Treasury Department's TDA TCO designation, which includes the following quote from Brian Nelson, Undersecretary of Treasury of Terrorism and Financial Intelligence. Today's designation of Tren De Aragua as a significant TCO underscores the escalating threat it poses to American communities. As a part of the Biden-Harris administration's efforts to target transnational criminal organizations, we will deploy all tools and authorities against organizations like Tren De Aragua that prey on vulnerable populations to generate revenue, engage in a range of criminal activities across borders, and abuse the U.S. financial system. Now, here's the question. How do you prosecute crime under the Biden administration like that when you allow provisions for those kind of things to take place as baseline? Shout out to Miss Nisi and shout out to Shamika for hitting the Stream Elements bots. I appreciate y'all. How does that work? It doesn't make any sense. In the 14 fiscal years ended 2020, Border Patrol agents at the southwest border apprehended just over 3,900 illegal migrants from Venezuela total. Venezuelan apprehensions did rise in the closing of the days of the Trump administration. 781 illegal migrants from that country were nabbed by Border Patrol at the southwest border between October 2020 and January of 2021. But it wasn't until the Biden-Harris DHS gave Venezuelans here illegally, temporarily protected status that things really went off the rails. Now, here's my question. Why would they go off the rails right there in that particular case? What do you guys think? Why would things go off the rail right there in that particular case? There had to be some type of connecting event that caused a spike in those numbers. Would you guys agree? So we got to try to figure out what that event was. And real quick, shout out to everybody, man. We got the 1-to-1 popping off. You guys are doing great. I appreciate it. We got 45 people watching. We got 46 likes. Throw some 100s in the chat. I appreciate y'all. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, help me out. Smash the like button. If you haven't shared the video, take a moment. Share the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, take a moment. Subscribe to the channel. All right. Nationals of TPS countries Nationals of TPS countries are largely protected from removal, and Venezuela was designated for that status early March 2021. Now, let me ask you guys this question. First of all, why was Venezuela designated for that status? Who did that, right? And has that caused any effect on this? If you ask me, yeah. Shout out to D-Dub. What's good with it? If you ask me, yeah. Between that month and the end of fiscal year 2021, Venezuelan apprehensions at the southwest border surged more than 46,000. In fiscal year 2022, southwest border agents made more than 187,000 apprehensions of illegal Venezuelan migrants and 200,000 plus more in fiscal year 2023. So as you guys can see, once Venezuela became a part of that TPA status, the numbers skyrocketed, okay? The numbers skyrocketed. In the first 10 months of fiscal year 2024, CBP has encountered nearly 281,000 inadmissible Venezuelans, more than 133,000 of whom were apprehended by Border Patrol at the southwest border. Almost 97,500 stopped at the southwest border ports, and 146,840 identified at interior U.S. ports. For what it's worth, CBP at the northern border of entry encountered an additional 526 inadmissible Venezuelans in fiscal year of 2024. And Border Patrol caught an additional 249 nationals of the country coming over the border from Canada this fiscal year. All right. So again, it's rare that we hear a lot of things that go on with the northern border. You know what I'm saying? The port encounters are explained by two Biden-Harris immigration initiatives. All right. So take notes. I'm going to say that again. The port encounters are explained by two Biden-Harris immigration innovations, CHNV Parole and the CBP1 app interview scheme. All right. And we've talked about both of these. All right. How many people are subscribed to Undocumented? If you're subscribed to Undocumented, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to Undocumented, give me a thumbs down. If one of the mods could put the link to Undocumented in the chat, I would advise people to hit that link and subscribe and go check out some of the videos over there. We talked about the CBP app on Undocumented. If you guys check out that channel called Forbes that has a lot of the Senate hearings, there's a good Senate hearing exchange between Josh Hawley and some people in Congress where they're going back and forth about the CBP app. Okay. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all throw some flames in the chat for Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all subscribe to that channel. And also, if somebody could put the link to Undocumented in there, subscribe to Undocumented too. We don't go as in-depth on Undocumented as we do on Undocumented. But, you know, if you want to watch over there, go ahead and watch. So let me see. I'm going to put the links to this in the chat so that y'all can check it out. This is about the CHNV parole. All right. We talked about the CHNV parole earlier this year. All right. So here's that. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Show Brooklyn Queen some love. Appreciate it. And then here is the CBP1 app. Now, how many people have heard of the CBP1 app or know what it is and what it does? If you guys heard of the CBP1 app, and you know what it is or know what it does, give me a thumbs up. All right, cool. So here's that. Boom. All right. Let me see. Throw this in here. All right. So there's that. I just got to do one more thing, y'all. My bad. Let me see. CHNV parole. Closed that one out by accident. All right, put this one in the Discord too. Let me see. All right, cool. So now y'all got this stuff. All right, so y'all can check it out if y'all interested. Okay. CHNV parole and the CBP1 interview scheme that I've explained at length elsewhere. All right, so they must have put another. Let me see. They must have put another video in here. Let me see. Oh yeah, this is a good article right here. What's Biden doing with the migrants at ports of entry? Yeah, people should watch this. All right, so here's that. And then we'll get this in the chat to y'all. Shout out to PJ Allen. What's good with it, bro? All right, migrants at ports. Boom. All right, so there's that. All right. The important thing to keep in mind is that an unprecedented, all right? The important thing to keep in mind is that an unprecedented number of Venezuelans without visas who thus have never been screened before showing up here have been arriving in this country since March of 2021 and keep arriving. And are also ending up staying here for extended periods of time. Okay. So yeah, so there's that. That for the most part, that's all we need. Okay. So we got another article here from the Latin. I think it's just called the Latin Times. We're gonna take a look and see what they're saying. Tren De Aragua gang members continue to cross into the United States through Texas. Mexican authorities warn. As you guys can see, this article was posted five days ago. Okay. Mexican law enforcement officials in the border state of Chihuahua continue to see a large number of potential gang members passing on their way through the United States. U.S. authorities say to the people who they believe are members of Tren De Aragua, a Venezuelan-born criminal organization, using the El Paso, Texas, Juarez, Mexico corridor to enter the United States illegally. All right, so that first paragraph is a trip. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Patrick for being the first stream sponsor. Make sure y'all show Patrick some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Patrick. Definitely appreciate it, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around. I'm rich, biatch.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to David Brown. What's good with it, bro? So Patrick says, why Venezuelans? What is the United States government up to? That's a great question. And then Patrick goes on to say, so Mexico doesn't stop them. Nope. 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 So I'm going to read this first paragraph again. Mexican law enforcement officials in the border state of Chihuahua continue to see a large number of potential gang members passing through on their way to U.S. authorities, passing through on their way to the U.S. Authorities say the people who they believe are members of Tren De Aragua are Venezuelan-born criminal organization using the El Paso, Texas, Juarez, Mexico corridor to enter the United States illegally. Okay. Designated as a transnational criminal organization by the U.S. Treasury Department last month, Tren De Aragua is known for engaging in criminal activities for profit, such as human smuggling, drug trafficking, money laundering, and gender-based violence. All right. As encounters continue to rise, Mexican border authorities remain on high alert. Now, I don't understand really why they're on high alert other than to just keep themselves safe, because it doesn't really seem like they're doing anything to deter these people or send them back. So what kind of high alert are they on, and for what? And shout out to Tarek for enforcing them likes. Throw some like enforcers in the chat. Definitely appreciate it. It doesn't really seem like they're doing too much, does it? The authorities ain't really doing too much to deal with this. Although no murders or other acts of extreme violence have been reported locally. And again, they're just talking about in Mexico, because up here in the United States, we got rumors of them, doing the whole apartment takeover thing, right? Loya said the members have been linked to 3 homicides in central Mexico, allegedly deleting 2 women as well as one of their own gang members. It is something that has set off red lights. These people who lost their lives were possibly deleted by Tren De Aragua. In an attempt to combat the gang, Chihuahua's government invited a Chilean gang expert to brief its police commanders on the tactics used by the Tren De Aragua members to infiltrate countries outside of Venezuela. So, we kind of went into this a little bit earlier. All right. So now what we about to do here is we about to recap on this particular situation. Do you guys remember this, when this jewelry store got vandalized and terrorized? If you guys remember this, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't remember this, then give me a thumbs down.
The city's top cop and mayor putting Venezuelan gang members on notice.
And this comes one day after we learned that a member of a notorious Venezuelan gang is a suspect in this violent jewelry store heist in Denver from back in June. Tonight, both the chief and the mayor are vowing gang-related crimes will not be tolerated.
Thank you so much for being here.
Tonight, Denver Mayor Mike Johnston says his team is keeping tabs.
Now, again, as far as talking about the toleration of this stuff goes, right? As far as the toleration of this stuff goes, we got to ask the question, is simply existing as a sanctuary state tolerance of this stuff? Is that tolerance of this stuff? Let me know.
On new developments over the presence of Tren De Aragua in Denver.
We're watching this very closely. I'm in touch with the police department chief. We're meeting to do a briefing about what the options and concerns are.
TDA, as it's more commonly known, is a Venezuelan transnational criminal organization.
We're aware of the presence of that gang in our city, certainly continuing to follow that. I think the safety of our citizens and our officers is paramount.
Last night, we told you about federal authorities in El Paso relinquishing custody of a man linked to this violent jewelry store robbery in Denver back in June. Our partners at News Nation reporting that suspect, a Venezuelan national, is a member of TDA, marking the first recent high-profile crime in Denver linked to this gang. It's the same group that triggered this law enforcement safety bulletin last month, warning police in Denver TDA members have been, quote, given a green light to fire or attack law enforcement.
We have real experts on our police force who've been fighting gangs of all shapes for many years. We're expert at it. We think we're very sophisticated in how to detect it.
Concerns over the presence of the notorious South American gang follows a major migrant influx into Denver over the last year and a half. Many of the 40,000 plus are from Venezuela. The mayor maintains Denver is a welcoming city for those creating a new life for themselves, but
now creating a new life doesn't necessarily mean creating a new life using legal means. Creating a new life can simply just be becoming an alter ego or wiping your identity. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. If you ask me, these silly mistakes are very childlike and naive. And unfortunately, the childlike, naive nature of these irresponsible policies and behaviors can put many people at risk, as you can see.
For anyone that's here to commit crimes, whether you've lived here your whole life or you're brand new, we won't tolerate that. We'll find you, we'll enforce it, we'll prosecute you.
Now, as for that suspect in that jewelry heist, an alleged Venezuelan gang member, Jean Torres Roman, News Nation reports that he's being held under a $100,000 bond in Colorado and has a court date on August 21st. He's facing state charges of attempted first-degree murder, attempted aggravated robbery, and menacing.
All right, so there's that. All right. So now what we're about to do next is we're going to take a look at these rumors of the quote-unquote Hells Angels coming to Colorado. I don't know to do what. Maybe back up their other chapter, also called the local police force. You know what I'm saying? Viral claims of Hells Angels heading to Aurora remain unsubstantiated. So but again, right now what they're saying about all of this is that quote unquote everything is unsubstantiated. They're even saying that the actual occurrence of all of this stuff is unsubstantiated. So we don't know. We're just going off of what we have in the media. And as you guys know, the media can be filtered. You know what I'm saying? We don't know exactly what's going on here. Okay? We don't know exactly what is going on here. And it'd be nice if we did. Okay? Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says, when they sent the migrants to Chicago, black neighborhoods, no one said nothing. Now Denver, which I presume is more white, everyone has something to say. Yeah, I agree. And another thing, too, is that I don't know if you guys were aware, but the mayor, Mike Johnson, right, and all of them, they were actually trying to send a lot of their migrant overflow, even though they're a sanctuary city, they were trying to attempt to send their migrants to New York and Chicago. If you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't remember that, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says viral claims of Hells Angels heading to Aurora remain unsubstantiated amid Tren De Aragua gang violence. All right. Unverified videos and social media speculations fuel concerns. X debunks key footage. Okay, so I don't know what that means. In recent days, let me see, I'm gonna make this bigger. Y'all able to see that? If you guys can see that, okay, give me a thumbs up. If y'all can't see it, give me a thumbs down. In recent days, social media has been flooded with claims that members of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, them Drake's boys, I'll link the video to that in the chat, or I'll link the video to that once the video processes after the stream. A group frequently associated with international criminal activities are headed to Aurora, Colorado to confront, quote unquote, Venezuelan gang Tren De Aragua. While these rumors have ignited widespread discussion and concern, they remain unverified by official sources. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What would an official source for this look like? Who's an official source for this? How do you find an official source of quote unquote this kind of rumor? Where do these claims come from? Recently surfaced footage of gang members believed to be members of Venezuelan-born gang Tren De Aragua are taking over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. Local law enforcement has formed a task force aimed at taking them down. Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention. What I think is interesting is, you guys saw how big the law enforcement presence was there, right? Do you all notice how there's these rumors of the Hells Angels going to quote unquote regulate the situation, and they're not even worried about the police who are already there, being that they're also a criminal organization? Isn't that interesting? My question for you guys is, what do y'all think about that? The images show a group of hooded individuals wielding rifles and pistols, pounding a door and entering different apartments while one speaks over the phone. Tren De Aragua is notorious for its involvement in drug trafficking, extortion, and violent crimes, both in Venezuela and other countries where its members have migrated. Now, I'd be interested in trying to find some older information about Tren De Aragua and some of the other places outside of the United States that they've migrated to. Yeah, shout out to Patrick. Patrick says, Rob needs to be a reporter. They would hate you doing the questioning. Absolutely, bro. That's one of the reasons why you see me as not as a reporter, because they would never hire me. And I would make everybody look bad because I'm so dope. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. So now here it says, unverified Hells Angels viral content. So again, these videos are surfacing all over the place. Hells Angels speculation began shortly after the apartment complex video was publicized. Thousands of videos and posts appeared on platforms like X and TikTok, suggesting that the Hells Angels were preparing to take action against Tren De Aragua. Hashtags like hashtag Hells Angels, which we should just ask Drake, because Drake should know this, right? And Aurora, Colorado quickly trended as users shared videos allegedly showing Hells Angels members heading towards the city. So again, heading towards the city with no worries of the police. Heading toward the city with no worries of police. Very interesting. You know what I'm saying? The content used to support these claims has faced intense scrutiny on social media. While many X and TikTokers assert that the videos are authentic, others are pointing out inconsistencies, such as indications that the footage was filmed on foreign highways, questionable sources, and the reuse of old or unrelated content. And in the internet age, it's real easy to put all those type of compilations together and show where something is real versus where something is not. You know what I mean? The video embedded below is one of the most popular pieces, so we'll take a look at it, of content linked to this trend. It has been fact-checked by social media platform X. Under the video, X writes, this video does not show Hells Angels riding to Aurora, Colorado to fight against Venezuelan gang members. They are Brazilian bikers being escorted by the San Paulo State Highway Police. So they're not even Hells Angels. They don't even have no video here. Let me see. Hold on. Maybe it's a link here. Let me see. Yeah, I can't get it to open. It's all good. Despite the viral nature of these images, no official confirmation has been provided by the Hells Angels or law enforcement agencies. The Hells Angels quote-unquote official website remains silent on the matter, with no mention of any such plans or activities. And if there's going to be some type of face-off that probably leads to criminal activity, I highly doubt that any experienced criminal would put anything in writing about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. Shout out to Jada Informant. Jada Informant said, I saw one YouTuber, white guy, got 325K, I'm assuming, views off this story, and quote unquote is fake. Well, you know how they do with their content. You know how they do with their content, bro. You know, if they say something, you know what I'm saying, it's at the very least 57,000 views. You know what I'm saying? If we say something, it takes 7 damn days for our monetization to get approved. By that time, the news has stopped trending, hence less views, while they sit there and tell us to, quote unquote, work harder. You know what I'm saying? So then they go and they give like a little background story of the quote unquote Hells Angels. And we've talked about the Hells Angels before. Again, if you're not familiar with any of this stuff, you guys can check out the video that I did about Drake. All right, because Drake likes to, you know what I'm saying, hang around with people that don't like black people because he don't like black people, you know what I'm saying? And that'll give you a little bit more insight as to that. All right. So there's another little article here, and this was just from some type of like message board that I found. I'm gonna put this in here so y'all can check this out. All right, you guys see right there. Shout out to End Times. What's going on, End Times? Hell's Angels are headed to Aurora, to Colorado, to fight Venezuelan gangs. This is asking the question here. Social media claims suggest members of the Hell's Angels are heading to Aurora, but again, it hasn't been substantiated. This follows the release of a surveillance video showing armed men allegedly, quote unquote, taking over an apartment building identified as the Edge at Lowry, linked to the Venezuelan gang Tren De Aragua. Okay, so and then I don't know what's going on here. There's no way to. This website here is scripted real bad. They don't have a bar where you can scroll down at, so you kind of gotta do weird and awkward stuff that I just don't feel like doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the link to this in the chat. All right, hopefully this will stick. If you guys haven't hit the like button yet, please do me a favor, take a moment, hit that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, hit that bell, subscribe, share the stream to your social media. When you share it, make sure you guys tag somebody that you think will be interested in it. All right, let me see. All right, so hopefully this will be one line. All right, let's see. I don't think it's gonna be though. I think it's gonna be longer. I think it might break it into more than one. Oh no, it just fit. All right, cool. That's what's up. All right, I'm gonna put this in the Discord too. All right. Cool. So that's what's up. That worked. All right, cool. That's what's up, man. So shout out to Mo Facts. What's good with it, bro? So now what we've done is we've gone over conflicting stories, right? The stories from law enforcement are different than the stories of the mayor of Aurora, right? Governor Polis and Mayor Mike Johnson of Denver say that they're welcoming for law enforcement to intervene with the quote-unquote transnational criminals while not relinquishing the city and state sanctuary status, which makes no sense. It makes no sense to say that you're complicit with law enforcement while backing policy that blocks law enforcement's access from being able to prosecute. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, players and pimps, for right now, this right here on this particular situation is all I got. All right. But I do got some more stuff coming for y'all shortly. All right. So make sure that you locked in. Make sure y'all hit that bell icon twice. Make sure that y'all smash that like button. Make sure that y'all share. Make sure that y'all part of the Discord. Make sure y'all show some love to Patrick. Definitely appreciate it. Patrick was the sole stream sponsor, and we most definitely appreciate it. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,